Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Shankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sahana Bhavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This time I thought I would do this Ishavasya Upanishad. This Ishavasya Upanishad belongs to Shukla Yajurveda. Shukla Yajurvediya Upanishad. And this Upanishad is a mantra Upanishad. We have Upanishads called mantra Upanishads and Brahmana Upanishads. Always a mantra Upanishad is something which presents the teaching briefly, and a Brahmana Upanishad becomes the elaboration and a commentary on the mantra Upanishad. For example, Mundaka Upanishad is a mantra Upanishad, and Prashnopanishad is a Brahmana Upanishad, which means a Prashnopanishad becomes a commentary on the Mundaka Upanishad. Similarly, here Ishavasya Upanishad is a mantra Upanishad, and Brihadaranyakam is a Brahmana Upanishad, which is a commentary on elaboration of this mantra Upanishad, Ishavasya. That is why Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is quite big Upanishad. Swamiji used to tell, you can quote for anything, you can say something, quote, you can say it's from Brihadaranyakam, because for everything there is some reference available. So Brihadaranyakam is a Brahmana Upanishad, which is a commentary on Ishavasya Upanishad. And like how this Kena Upanishad is named after the first word of the Upanishad, Kena. Here also Ishavasya Upanishad begins with the statement Ishavasyam idam sarvam. This Upanishad also is named after the first sentence of the Upanishad. Anyway, we'll see everything in detail later on. Before we enter into the very study of the Upanishad, with this much details, I want to start from the beginning. For Shukla Yajurveda, we have the Shanti Mantra, like how any Upanishad study must be begun with the Shanti Mantra. Here also we have a Shanti Mantra, Shanti Patha for Shukla Yajurveda Upanishad. This is the mantra here is Purnamadaha. So let us chant once Purnamadaha. And Purnamadaha, all these swaras, now we have only Anudata and Udata. No Swarita at all. For example, when you do Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurvediya Shanti Pataha Sahana Bhavatu, we have all these swaras like Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu. All the three. Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Vishavahai Dirghaswarita. All the swaras are here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Even in Shanti we have Shanti Shanti Shanti. This Udata, Anudata, Swarita, all the swaras are here. Whereas in Purnamadaha, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Other Upanishads. Other Shanti Mantra. Whereas for Shukla Yajurveda, Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The swara changes. Hope you have noticed it. Shanti Shanti Shanti. There is no swarita at all. This is the difference which in every day as we chant we'll get it correctly. Okay? Say after me once. Then I'll start the class. Om Purnamadav 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 Purnamidam Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. இப்படி போறாங்களா? So here, if we see the meaning of the word Upanishad, the word Upanishad itself implies two functions. Upani indicates a given function. Sat indicates another function. Two functions. Upani, upa is a prefix which means near. So ni stands for the verb nayati. Nayanam means carrying, leading. So upani implies taking near, leading near. So this takes near. So who is taken near whom? It is involved in the function of taking the Jivatma near the Paramatma. Atmanam Jivatmanam Paramatmanam Prati Upanayati. It takes the Jivatma to Paramatma. It brings Jivatma and Paramatma together. So it brings the individual self and the absolute self together. And here, brings near means, does it physically take the Jivatma near the Paramatma? When there is no distance at all between Jivatma and Paramatma, absolutely Jivatma and Paramatma, there is not even difference as Jivatma and Paramatma, there is only Atma. Then how can Jivatma be taken near the Paramatma? How can it bring Jivatma and Paramatma together? Here the distance between Jivatma and Paramatma happens to be caused by ignorance. That removal of ignorance is in fact bringing the Jivatma close to the Paramatma. That's why we say, you would have heard this, the root dha. Dha means dhanam, dadhati, not dadati, dadhati. Dhanam. Tell them not to talk much. See, dhanam, adhanam, vidhanam, nidhanam, avadhanam, vi-avadhanam. We have different nouns we can form. Like avadhana means attention, focus. And vi-avadhanam means distance. So vyavahitam means what? Distanced. Jivatma is as though distanced from Paramatma. And this vyavadhanam, this distance between Jivatma and Paramatma, is caused by ajnanam, avidya. So ignorance caused a distance between Jivatma and Paramatma has to be removed only by ajnanam, knowledge. Therefore, Upanayati, so how does it take the Jivatma near Paramatma? By removing the distance between Jivatma and Paramatma through the removal of ignorance. Therefore, the next word is Sad. Sad implies, Sat stands for Sad, and the Sad means Avasadayati. Avasadayati means destroys. So that which destroys the ignorance. So by destroying the ignorance, so destruction of ignorance is the function number 2. Function, in fact, we take a function number 1. Destruction of ignorance is function number 1. And the second function is what? It takes the Jivatma near Paramatma. So that which brings Jivatma and Paramatma together by removing the distance between them caused by ignorance, through the removal of ignorance, is called Upanishad. Isn't it? Upanishad. This is the meaning of the word Upanishad. We can give different meanings. So Upani stands for the function of bringing the Jivatma near Paramatma. And the Sad stands for the function of destruction. So Upanishad. So here, we say this Upanishad we study. Any Upanishad we study with the help of the teacher. And the teacher is said to be the Sadguru. And Sadguru, when you say, in this context, I want to take you to another verse to understand. We will continue Ishavasya Upanishad tomorrow morning. In this context, I want you to understand. When you say Sadguru, who is the Guru? Guru is the one who removes the darkness of ignorance, dispels the darkness of ignorance. The letter Gu stands for Andhakaraha. Gukaraha. Gukaras Tvandakaraha. Darkness. Ru stands for Tan Nivartakaha. The one who dispels. The word Guru itself means the one who dispels the darkness of ignorance. So Guru, who is the Guru here? Who is the teacher here? Very in-depth. In fact, the Guru is none other than Bhagavan. The actual Guru is none other than Bhagavan himself. Which means you have to see Bhagavan being manifest in every teacher. Bhagavan is not the Guru, but every teacher who speaks is what? The one who speaks, the speaker is another than Bhagavan. The speaker in everyone is Bhagavan only. The doer in everyone is Bhagavan. The enjoyer in everyone is Bhagavan. Not only in the teacher, isn't it? The speaker, the doer, the enjoyer, the seer, the hearer, the smeller, in everyone is Bhagavan. Not only the teacher. Suppose everyone, the doer, enjoyer, seer, hearer, in everyone is Bhagavan. What about the speaker, the teacher in the so-called teacher? Is Bhagavan himself. That's why here we say, when we chant this verse, Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtyam Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. When you say that verse, Namami, I bow to. Namami means I bow. I bow to the Guru, who is Sadguru. There Sadeva Guru, Sadguru. Sataha Guru, Sadguru. The one who dispels the darkness of ignorance of reality is Sadguru. The one here, the Guru is another than the reality itself. Even the reality is not the Guru, Paramatma is not the Guru, but there is no Guru other than Paramatma. Sadeva Guru, Sadguru. And who is that Guru here? Sad is the Guru, who means who is the Guru here? So it says Brahman. What is that Sat? Param Brahma. There is no Guru. We do Param Brahma is not the Guru, not anything. But there is no Guru other than Param Brahma, Paramatma. There is no teacher other than the reality. There is no teacher other than Bhagavan. Therefore, we say here, Brahmanandam, this Guru who is none other than Brahma. And that Brahman, what is that Brahman? The limitless reality. There is nothing which is bigger than the reality, greater than the reality. The Guru is the reality. The Guru, Sat, nothing greater or bigger than the reality. That's why it's Brahma. Brahma means something which is bigger, greater than the reality. That is Brahma. So we say Brahman itself, the word Brahma itself implies what? The reality which is incomparably, limitlessly big. That reality, Paramatma, that Brahma, the teacher is Guru another than that Brahma, who is limitlessly, incomparably, limitlessly big. And who is of the nature of fullness, happiness, Anandaha. So Brahmanandam Sadgurum Namami. So I bow to the teacher whose Swarupam, whose truth, whose Swarupam, whose truth is none other than Brahma, Paramatma, and who is of the nature of happiness. When you say who is of the nature of happiness, fullness, means that Brahman, the limitless reality, who is incomparably, limitlessly big, means the very word already I have explained to you many times when I came previously. The reality is limitlessly big, means time-wise limitless, spatially limitless, object-wise limitless. There is no time when the reality is not. There is no space which is not pervaded by reality, where reality is not. There is no object which is not pervaded by, which is not the reality here. So every object indicated by any name and form is nothing but reality. Like how blindly closing your eyes you can say every wave is nothing but water, how you can say. So also here you can say, if you have the vision, there is no object, known or unknown. There is no object in this universe which is not the reality. Every object, every small or big, known or unknown, visible or invisible, everything here is that Brahman. Everything is reality. Therefore, the reality is object-wise limitless. There's nothing which is not the reality, Brahman. Therefore, everything is Brahma. Object-wise limitless. There's no time when the reality is not. There's no space, there's no place which is not pervaded by the reality. Therefore, reality is limitlessly, incomparably big, means it is time-wise, spatially, object-wise, limitless reality. That is reality, Brahma. And that reality is of the nature of happiness, fullness. Now, you have heard before telling the reality is nothing but consciousness. Chaitanyam Brahma. That consciousness, implied by the term Brahman, is the only reality. Why? Because that alone is the Vastu reality. That alone is the absolute reality. Everything else other than consciousness is only relative. Even time factor is relative. Space is also what? An object of knowledge. So anything which is an object of knowledge is relative. The only one Vastu which is not an object of knowledge is the absolute. If you ask what is that which is not an object of knowledge, if you ask, the subject alone, subject of knowledge alone can never be the object of knowledge. The knower, the subject of knowledge alone, will ever be the subject of knowledge, will never become the object of knowledge. You have to remember this very subtle fact. The knower, the subject of knowledge, will ever remain the subject of knowledge, will never become the known, the object of knowledge. Karta kadapi karma na bhavati. Jnata kadapi jnatam jnataha na bhavati. The subject of knowledge never becomes the object of knowledge. Knower will never become the object of knowledge, the known. Like what? When I say illuminator of this opaque things is light, the illuminator the illuminator is the light, and the illuminator is the subject of illumination. The opaque things are the illumined. The opaque things are ever the illumined. Never does any opaque become the illuminator of the light. Why? The opaque thing itself ever being dependent on the illuminator to become the illumined. How can the opaque become the illuminator of the light? Never. Opaque will ever be the illumined, object of illumination. It is dependent to become the illumined. Whereas light, the illuminator, never becomes the illumined. The light will ever be the illuminator with reference to opaque things. The standpoint of the opaque things, isn't it? You have to remember this. Light can never become the illumined by the opaque. With the opaque can never become the illuminator of the light. Similarly here, the whole Jagat, the entire universe, including your body, mind, sense complex, you can say, which is inclusive of your body, mind complex, ever comes under the category of the known. Jagat means the known. This, anything which comes under the category of the known is what the Jagat. And everything and anything else except the knower, everything else is what? The known. Therefore, the knower never becomes the known. Okay, the known Jagat, the universe, the cosmos, inclusive of your body, mind, complex, which comes under the category of the known, will ever be the known. Never will it become the knower. Remember the example of light and opaque things. The Jagat will ever be the known. Understand? The knower will ever be the knower. Knower will never become the known. And if you ask, who is this knower? Therefore, the known is dependent on the knower to become the known. As the known, to become the known, thereby to enjoy the status of being existent also, this universe is dependent on the knower. Therefore, who this knower is? Who is this knower? Who is this knower? If you ask, there is no knower other than Paramatma. You can never say Paramatma is the knower. Okay? But still, there is no knower other than Paramatma. The only knower obtaining in every mind is one and the same only Paramatma. The knower is Paramatma. Therefore, knower never becomes an object of knowledge. Known never becomes the subject of knowledge. Now we say, what about time? Take the time factor. Now the whole Jagat we talk about. This Jagat exists within the realm of time and space. Deshaha Kalaha. Therefore, the entire cosmos, the Vishwam, exists within the realm of time and space. Therefore, the Jagat is what we say, everything in this universe subject to time limitation, choicelessly, inevitably, unavoidably, everything is subject to time limitation. Everything is subject to spatial limitation. Everything is subject to object limitation. Okay, and this Jagat, which comes under the category of the known, everything here is what? Subject to all threefold limitations. Therefore, time and space. Now the question comes, okay, the whole Jagat, we understand everything in this universe which exists within the realm of time and space subject to all three limitations. What about the very time factor? It took very long for the scientists to say time is relative. Our Shastras made very clear, time is relative. Why? Because time itself has time limitation. Time has time limitation. There is a time when there is no time. So the time is an object of knowledge, because time being there is known, time being not there also is known, which means time is an object of knowledge. So no object of knowledge has independent existence outside of the knower. Therefore, understand, therefore, time has time limitation. And being an object, time itself being an object of knowledge, time is also what? Dependent on the knower. Therefore, the knower status has time limitation. Okay? The one who obtains as the knower is free from time limitation. Be very careful, okay? The knower status has time limitation. But the one who obtains as the knower is free from time limitation. Timeless reality. That's why I told you, the reality, Paramatma, is not the knower. But there is no knower other than Paramatma, is said. So what about the space? Space also is an object of knowledge. Space is an object of knowledge. Therefore, anything which comes under the category of the known has no independent existence. It doesn't exist outside of the knower. Independent of the knower. Therefore, the knower happens to be none other than Paramatma, the consciousness. Okay, consciousness is free from time limitation, free from spatial limitation, free from object limitation. So we say Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinnam Chaitanyam. So Desha Parichedaha Nasti, Kala Parichedaha Nasti, Vastu Parichedaha Nasti are Sanskrit terms for limitation. It is free from all three possible limitations. That is why this reality is implied in terms of its Swarupam by the word Brahma. So Brahmanandam Sadgurum Namami, I bow to the teacher whose Swarupam is, okay? Swarupam is the limitless reality which is of the nature of fullness, happiness. And that reality does not need to do anything to fill everything, to be full of everything, to pervade everything. By its nature, it's all pervasive. Like how light pervades to opaque, doesn't need to make any effort to pervade. Like water in the ocean need not make any effort to pervade the entire ocean. Being full is its very nature. So the reality here need not make any effort to to pervade everything. The reality is of the nature of fullness. So Brahmanandam. So I bow to the teacher whose Swarupam is another than Paramatma, who is Paramatma, the limitless reality, who is of the nature of fullness. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam. So Paramasukham. Sukham means, the temporary time-bound pleasure also is called a Sukham. Eternal, everlasting happiness also is called a Sukham. Any Sukham, the source of pleasure is Paramatma, the consciousness. The source of, happiness is also Paramatma. There is no source of any pleasure or any joy, any happiness other than Paramatma. Which means, now you have to understand, so Parama Sukhadaha. Parama Sukha means Moksha Sukham. Parama means absolute happiness, in which we can have this absolute peace. Sukha Daha means the bestower of absolute happiness is Paramatma. There's nothing in the world will give you permanent happiness. It is the Paramatma. It is the reality. How does it give? It does not give. It is of the nature of happiness, fullness. Therefore, that which is the source of happiness alone can be the bestower of happiness. The borrower of happiness cannot give you the happiness. Isn't it? The one who is of the nature of happiness alone, the source of happiness alone can give you happiness. Therefore, Parama Sukhadaha, the one who is of the one who is of the nature of fullness, happiness. Therefore, one who is the only bestower of absolute happiness is Parama Sukhadaha. Here the question may come, what about pleasure? We have reduced everything as what? Knower and the known. The whole Jagat, nothing in this Jagat is a source of pleasure. No pleasure, no joy, no degree of sukham or no happiness is available in this world. The only source of sukham is yourself, your Paramatma. But what do we think? Why do we call this world, the objects, as the object of pleasure? Anything which is looked upon as an object of pleasure, in fact, is an object of enjoyment, which serves as an instrument of what? Pleasure. Really speaking, the no object of enjoyment, no bhogya vishaya, no object of enjoyment. The whole Jagat is object of enjoyment. Nothing in this world, no object of enjoyment is a source of pleasure, time-bound pleasure. Then therefore it is not, nor is it a source of everlasting happiness also. Even time-bound pleasure also is not from the object. Timeless, everlasting happiness also is not from, definitely not from the object. So that which is the source of everlasting happiness is in fact the source of time-bound pleasure also. How do we say that? Because the manifestation of fullness is happiness. And fullness is the nature of reality. Fullness manifest is happiness. The manifestation of fraction of fullness is pleasure. This is the difference. Fullness manifest is happiness. Fraction of fullness manifest is pleasure. Your pleasure is what? Time bound. Is it clear? Therefore, can I say that any object is object of enjoyment? Every object of enjoyment serves a triggering instrument. It only serves as a manifesting medium, isn't it? It helps you for the fraction of fullness to manifest. So you mistake that for a source of pleasure. Really speaking, not even a source of time-bound pleasure. Nothing. How can an object be a source of limitless happiness? Definitely not. The only source of happiness is Atma, Paramatma. Paramasukhadam. So here, Sadgurum Tam Namami, I bow to the teacher whose Swarupam is limitless reality, which is of the nature of fullness, happiness, and the only bestower of everlasting happiness. The only source of happiness. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim. So what is the form of this Swarupam of the teacher? What is the form? Any teacher who speaks has a form, size, weight, height. But really, what is the truth, Swarupam of any teacher? What is Swarupam? Formless. If formless means, what is the form? In what form does this Swarupam of the teacher obtain? Swarupam of the teacher obtain in the form of knowledge. Jnana Murtihi. There is no form. Formlessness is the form. If I talk about in which form does the Swarupam obtain? obtained in the form of the knowledge, pure knowledge. Jnana Murti. That's why you say consciousness. Jnanameva Murti. Knowledge is the form of the Swarupam of the teacher. There is no other form. Which means knowledge has no form. Jnana Murtim. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Dvandva Atitaha. Dvandvaha, you know, all these parts of opposites. The Sadguru, the Guru whose Swarupam is free from, in fact, everyone's Swarupam is free from all parts of opposites. But here you see the teacher as, the actual teacher is not Bhagavan only. The speaker, everyone is Bhagavan, I said. So here also, who is this teacher when you say? Paramasukhadam Jnanamurtim Dvandva Atitam. The one whose Swarupam is, as consciousness, is free from all Dvandvas. Consciousness, Paramatma, the consciousness has no Dvandva. Neither Sukham nor Dukkham. Neither pain nor pleasure, neither loss, gain, nothing is there. It's like you can't say light has mic. Can you say light has mic? Light, between light and mic, there is no possessor-possessed connection. You can't say light has the mic, isn't it? You can say maximum what? The mic exists in the light. The mic has no existence outside of light. Therefore, mic is what? No manifestation of the light, appearance of the light. What you can say. Here also, the pain, pleasure, loss, gain, defeat, victory, honor, dishonor, all these parts of opposites, where do they exist? Where are they? Where is pain? On a head or thigh, or where is the pain? Where is the pleasure? Where is loss? Where is gain? Where is honor? Where is dishonor? Where is defeat? Where is victory? Where is it? It's all in the thoughts, isn't it? It's all in the mind, thoughts. Understand? Therefore, thought, they all form of thoughts only. Therefore, we say here, this light, you can't say, just you cannot say light has the mic, light has an opaque, you can't say. Similarly here, consciousness does not have all these parts of opposites. It's free from. Light is untouched, untainted by all the opaque things which exist in light. Similarly, consciousness, where all these thoughts exist, have their existence, is not touched, tainted by all these parts of opposites, not bound by parts of opposites, free from the parts of opposites. That's why Dvandva Atitaha. So Brahmanandaha Paramasukhadaha Kevalam Jnanamurtihi Dvandva Atitaha. Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham. Gagana Sadrushaha. Gaganam means space. Sadrusha means similar. Gagana Sadrushaha means what? If at all you have to understand something, it's all pervasive. There's nothing as all pervasive as space, isn't it? So space is incomparable to anything else in the world because space is all pervasive. And here, if at all there is consciousness is as all pervasive as the space. In fact, consciousness is more pervasive. Even the space is accommodated in consciousness. In the all pervasive, space is accommodated, pervaded by consciousness. Space does not pervade consciousness. Space pervades everything else. The one thing which space does not pervade is consciousness. Because space is pervaded by what pervades the space is consciousness. That's why we say Akashaha Avakasha Pradatru. Avakasha Pradata. The space is all accommodative. And that which accommodates the all accommodative space is consciousness. That's why we say Gagana Sadrushaha. Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham. And that Paramatma, who's the Swarupam of the teacher, Sadguru is what now? He say, Tattvamasya Lakshyam. And that Paramatma is what? Actually, the Paramatma Swarupam is something to be ultimately attained in terms of knowledge through the analysis of Mahavakyams such as Tattvamasi. We have these Mahavakyams, the great Vedic declarations like Tattvamasi, etc. Each Mahavakyam, which reveals the identity between Jivatma and Paramatma, when you analyze, by analyzing those Mahavakyams, what is that you have to arrive at finally? You have to arrive at the non-duality of the reality. You have to arrive at the oneness is limitless, which is of the nature of happiness. We have understood all those words now. That reality, the oneness of that reality, the non-duality of the reality is what has to be finally arrived at through the analysis of the Mahavakyams such as Tattvamasi. So Tattvam Asi Adi Lakshyam. Adi means etc. Okay, there's so many Mahavakyams, and Tattvamasi is one of the Mahavakyams. So he says, what is that which has to be finally arrived at in terms of knowledge is the reality. And that absolute reality, the Chaitanyam, which is non-dual reality, which is only reality, which is the Swarupam of the teacher. So it is said, Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam. And such, this teacher's Swarupam, Sadguru's Swarupam. Who is Sadguru here? Whose Swarupam is the Paramatma, none other than Paramatma. There is no teacher other than Paramatma. There is no speaker other than Paramatma. You have to remember this. There is no giver, doer, enjoyer other than Paramatma. And here, therefore, we say the teacher is another than Paramatma. So he says what now? Ekam. Ekaha means one. How many realities are there? Only Paramatma. We don't say one Paramatma, it's only Paramatma is there. Only Vastu reality is only reality. Therefore, Ekam, the whose Swarupam is the reality which is the only reality, secondless reality, Ekam, and which is timeless. Already we have seen how it is timeless. The reality consciousness is timeless. We already understood. Again, it's a word which emphasizes, states that fact of the reality being timeless. Saying Nityam, Ekam, Nityam, Nityaha. Nityaha. Swarup means Nityaha. Nitya means eternal, timeless. When you talk about timelessness, what does it imply? It has no beginning. No beginning, how do you say? It has no cause. Uncaused is no cause. Therefore, it is the beginningless. Beginningless, therefore, it is endless. It is independent, it is changeless. Ekam Nityam. Whenever you talk about timelessness, you have to think of beginninglessness. Beginninglessness implies causelessness. There is no cause. The cause means has a beginning, isn't it? No cause. Therefore, causeless, beginningless, changeless, endless. Therefore, independent. Isn't it? And Ekam Nityam, it is free from all so-called impurities, blemishes, and punya papas. We always talk about the impurities. Impurity means, what is impurity? What do you mean by impurities? Mala means impurity. What is impurity? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Anything which disturbs your easiness is impurity, really speaking. Malam. Which is a disease, is a malam. So this Kama, Krodha, the anger, desire, passion, aversion, jealousy, hatred, all of them which disturb your easiness, they are the malam, they are the impurities. There's no other impurities. And all these impurities are there. Again, like how consciousness is free from dvandvas, I explained to you how we cannot say light, between light and opaque, there's no possessor-possessed connections. Similarly, between consciousness, the reality, and all these impurities, there's no possessor-possessed connection. Therefore, this Parama, the teacher, the Sadguru, whose Guru's Swarupam is nothing but consciousness, the reality, which is free from all impurities, all blemishes, all punya papas. No punyam, no papam, no dukkham, nothing. Name punya pape, name shoka mohe. Is it? There's no shoka, moha, nothing. Is free from everything. The reality is free from everything. Therefore, here you say, Vimalam, Achalam. Achalam also. Achala means immovable. Why it is immovable? Because it's all pervasive. It's unmoving. It is of this Tanuhu. It is of the nature of, it is all pervasive, spatially limitless. It is all pervasive. It accommodates even space. Therefore, it cannot move from one place to another place. It's unmoving. Not only unmoving, there is no second reality other than consciousness. No, there is no second thing other than consciousness. Therefore, nothing which it can move this from one place to another place also, isn't it? Now, all pervasive reality is what? Unmoving, immovable. Ekam, Nityam, Vimalam, Achalam. That reality is what the only reality, secondless reality, all pervasive reality, therefore unmoving reality, therefore immovable reality, which is free from all blemishes and all everything, in which everything has its existence, isn't it? Comes and goes. So the coming, everything else comes under the category of the Jagat, means Jagat, that which comes and goes, is Jagat. Jayate gacchati iti Jagat. This Jagat keeps on coming and going. Everything known comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes where? In non-arriving, non-departing, everlasting reality consciousness. This Jagat keeps coming and going. Isn't this for Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam? But that reality, where is it available for recognition? Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. That reality obtains as the witness, the only witness, in all the minds. Sarvadhi, dhi means mind here. Sakshi Bhutam, that which obtains as the only witness of all the minds. Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. Consciousness is not the witness, but there is no witness other than consciousness. Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam. Bhava Atitam. Bhava means thoughts. All forms of thoughts. Atitam. So consciousness is free from all thoughts, all forms of thoughts, including ahankara. Manaha, buddhihi, chittam, ahankara, all forms of thoughts, the entire mind, free from mind, inseparable from mind, but free from mind. Inseparable from thoughts, but free from thoughts. Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam. Again, free from three gunas. Three gunas. What are three gunas? Three gunas are names given to the manifestations of three powers. Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Dravya Shakti. The power of knowing, the power of activity, the power of inertia. The three powers manifest are given three different names. As what? Sattva gunaha, Rajo gunaha, Tamo gunaha. All the powers, each power is Paramatma, but Paramatma is free from all the powers. Can we say that the burning power or burning power, the fire has burning power? Can you say that? There's no, even though for want of expression we can say the fire has burning power. Really speaking, has means, then you can say what? The fire and the burning power do not have possessor-possessed connection. If we say fire has burning power, the sentence may sound correct. Really speaking, it is not possessed. The burning power is not possessed by the fire. Why? Because it's not separable. Any possessed can be separable. Any possessed is separable from the possessor. Isn't it? Like here, when you say the light has illumining power, whenever use is has, that becomes a possessor-possessed connection. Can you separate the illumining power from the light? No. Inseparable. The separable, something separable, we can say, if a person has something, if it is separable, then you can say possessor-possessed connection is there. But here, the light has illumining power, fire has burning power. Means these are all, there is no possessor-possessed connection. Inseparable, isn't it? Therefore, the burning power is fire. The illumining power is light. But at the same time, light is free from burning power, illumining power. Understand? Not dependent, that's what I'm saying. So here also, all these three powers are Atma, Paramatma. But Paramatma, consciousness is free from these three powers. In fact, it's devoid of these three powers, you can say. Devoid means what? There's no possessor-possessed connection. That's what devoid. Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. So I bow to the teacher whose Swarupam is none other than Sad, reality, and which is of the nature of, every word, what now implies the nature of reality. That is the Guru, actually speaking. This you can understand one more thing. I want to make two things clear here. See, when we say this, the Guru means here, how is the one who dispels the darkness of ignorance is Guru who? How does the teacher remove the darkness of ignorance? Only through communication. Communication, isn't it? So that's what the Guru has to communicate. Mauni Baba's Swamiji always says this. You can bow to any Mahatma, for inspiration. Any Mahatma can have any Shakti because they're tapasvis. So for all the tapas Shakti they have, you can bow to them. You can, for their blessings, and you can really, for inspiration you can bow to them. For blessings you can bow to them. But for teaching you always go to the person who speaks. because it's very important. So here, when you say the one who dispels the darkness of ignorance is Guru, who means, what is communication? It need not be teaching. Even any communication of that matter is nothing but what? Expression of, thoughts. So in what form does knowledge exist? We are going to see the meaning of the word actually. That's why I started here today. I wanted to explain the meaning of the word Upanishad. To go there, I have gone somewhere else. Okay? I just didn't mind doing it. Because today's, anyway, best thing is to talk about Bhagavan as Guru today. Just I wanted to do it. What is communication? So communication is nothing but expression of one's thoughts. So thoughts means here the teacher has to dispel the darkness of ignorance in the mind of a student, for which he has to communicate. So in communication is what now? Communication means a transference of the knowledge from the teacher's head to the student's head. There ignorance is sitting. And knowledge has to travel from, what now? Has to be transferred from the teacher's head to the student's head, which being on being transferred, will help the ignorance resolve. Will make the ignorance resolve. So in what form does the knowledge obtain? The knowledge of anything in the world, it's Aparavidya also, knowledge of the reality or knowledge of anything in the world is in the form of a thought only. Knowledge is in the form of a thought. Knowledge is in the form of a thought. So knowledge has to, if the knowledge obtaining in the form of a thought, in order to reach the student's mind, it has to travel only through communication. Communication means what here again? Only through the vehicle of words, the knowledge obtaining in the form of thought has to reach the other person's mind. So when the teacher speaks, expresses his knowledge through the words, and the words again properly handled, Shastra's words, properly unfolded. When these words reach through the ears of the student, reach the mind of the student, again these words become what? Knowledge in the form of thoughts. Understand? Knowledge in one's mind, is it communicated through words, travel through words, reach the other person's mind through the ears, again remain in the form of thoughts. Understand? That is why knowledge is always is in the form of thoughts only. And through communication, it goes to other person's mind through the other person's ears. Again remains in the form of a thought. Again others communicate, again it goes like what? So knowledge always is in the form of thought, always travels only through words, through communication. Again it continues to remain in the form of thoughts only. Is it clear? So where do the thoughts exist? Thoughts do not exist independent of, outside of consciousness. Therefore, there is no knowledge which exists outside of consciousness. Understand? Therefore, we say knowledge is what? In fact, the knowledge. There can't be knowledge without the knower. No knowledge exists outside of, independent of the knower. Knower, knowledge, known, isn't it? even knowledge of anything for that matter, whether it's a worldly knowledge or spiritual knowledge, knowledge of the reality or knowledge of the world, any knowledge, paravidya or aparavidya, no knowledge exists outside of the knower. There must be illuminator, and there is illumination, there is illumined. There cannot be knowledge without the knower, isn't it? Therefore, there can't be knowledge without the knower. And who is the knower here? There is no knower other than consciousness, Brahma. There is no knower other than consciousness. Therefore, who is the ultimate knower? Who is the ultimate knower, ultimate speaker, ultimate hearer, ultimate... You see, okay, the person, only person, the only person of first person, second person, third person, singular, dual, plural, all the is what? Only person is the reality, Paramatma. That's why we say here, in fact here, there's only knowledge also is what now? Is not created. There's only manifestation. There's only manifestation of knowledge. There's no creation of knowledge. Therefore, absolute teacher is, ultimate teacher is Bhagavan himself. So, Sadgurum Tam Namami. In fact, we do, everyone, the Paraspara Namaskara itself to each other is because we invoke, we see the Bhagavan obtaining other person, we bow to other person. Namaste to each other. Paraspara Namaskara is because I see Bhagavan in you, in your form. You see Bhagavan in my form, we bow to each other. Really speaking, there's nothing, not only the Guru, every speaker is Bhagavan. So what to talk about this, the one who teaches the Shastra, whose Swarupam also, everyone's Swarupam is, every individual's Swarupam is Paramatma only. That is the meaning of this verse. What I want to say here, the knowledge is not created. Knowledge is already there. It has to only manifest. It's not created. In the knowledge manifests, the ignorance resolves. In manifestation of knowledge, ignorance resolves. The ignorance, resolution of ignorance is in manifestation of knowledge. Any knowledge, whether it is knowledge of the world, knowledge of any object, knowledge of the reality, so knowledge is always manifestation of the pure knowledge, what is already there. There is no creation of knowledge. So the teaching only contributes for the triggering of, rising of appropriate vrittis in the mind. I'll tell you what it is. When you talk, for example, when I say knowledge or cognition or understanding, use all these words: understanding, knowledge, cognition. What is this knowledge? What is cognition? What is understanding? Whenever we say, I know something, I know this, there you mean there is knowledge. Knowledge involves two aspects. The two factors are involved in knowledge, are cognition. It's like saying, when you say all these opaque bodies are now illumined, all of us can see all of us, because every opaque body shines here. All the opaque things are shining. Even the colors of the flowers shine, the color of the leaves shine. Everything shines here because everything is illumined. Because there is illumination, isn't it? Because there is illumination. As there is illumination, everything is illumined here. And the illumination implies two factors. You will say, how is it possible for us to have the whole room is illumined, well illumined. There is illumination of this room. What is that which illumines the room? We'll all say immediately what? The bulb burns. Bulb is burning. Therefore there is illumination. We use singular word. The bulb is burning. Therefore there is illumination. Therefore all the opaque things shine. In fact, even though we use the expression bulb is burning, therefore there is illumination. The illumination implies two factors. Bulb is burning, singular verb, but still two factors are involved. One is invisible electricity and the bulb. Isn't it? Imagine two together contribute for illumination implies electricity plus unfused bulb, isn't it? If there is no electricity, even though the very good new bulb with the very good filament is there won't be light, there won't be illumination. Even the electricity is there, bulb is not there, still illumination is not possible. There's electricity passing through this bulb, good bulb with good filament, then there is illumination. So illumination implies what? Two things. Light, the electricity plus bulb is equal to illumination. Similarly, cognition, knowledge, understanding of anything implies what? Two factors. One is called vrittihi. Antahkarana vrittihi is like the bulb. Consciousness is like the electricity. Don't say consciousness electricity, okay? Be careful. Like I'm saying, without consciousness, mere vritti, antahkarana vritti, a thought modification. Actually, the thought you have to understand a lot. Thought is a subtle manifestation. You can only understand what thought is. How, in what all forms thoughts obtain, you can understand. But you cannot describe, picturize, portray, draw, describe thoughts. In what all forms do thoughts obtain, you can understand. As anger, jealousy, hatred, desire, fear, restlessness. You can understand all thoughts only. You understand them very well, but you can't describe thoughts. So thoughts themselves, no thought can become a cognition or knowledge by itself. A thought will be, thought minus consciousness will be as good as the opaque bulb which itself will remain unillumined, which itself will remain unknown. which will be as good as non-existent. In a dark room where there is no electricity, the very good bulb, with the brand new bulb with the brand new filament, which is capable of manifesting light, will remain as good as non-existent, as unknown, opaque. One of the opaque things existing in the dark room, isn't it? Similarly, even the electricity is there also. If there's no bulb, means still it cannot contribute for illumination. Electricity is there, there's no bulb, means still there can't be light. So electricity passing through that proper bulb alone becomes the light. Similarly, thoughts without consciousness also cannot contribute for cognition or knowledge. Cannot even exist, have the status of being existent. So consciousness without the thoughts also what? Cannot contribute for cognition. So consciousness is what? Pure knowledge. The pure knowledge means what? Source of knowledge. But the thoughts serve as manifesting medium. Just as bulb serves as the manifesting medium, expressing medium for the electricity. Similarly, the thoughts serve as manifesting medium for consciousness. So that's why we say knowledge is, cognition or knowledge is manifestation of consciousness, or manifestation of pure knowledge is what? Cognition or knowledge. Knowledge, when you talk about, is a manifest knowledge. The pure knowledge is pure consciousness, which is source of knowledge, which is inaccessible. No, it's not accessible. It is not interactable. It can't interact. Not available for interaction, not available for transaction. Not available for transaction. So without the electricity, there can't be the bulb cannot burn. Similarly, without the consciousness, there cannot be cognition or knowledge. If you ask me, source of knowledge is what? Consciousness. Just pure knowledge. In the presence of thought, there is manifest knowledge. In the absence of thought, pure knowledge. Understand? There is no impure knowledge. Okay, we use the word pure. I'll tell you here. When I say light, is there something called pure light? No. Is there something called reflected light? No. There is just the light. But we give the two adjectives are attributed to the light. In the presence of opaque mic, the same light gets the name reflected light. Remove this opaque mic from here, light is what? Pure light. There is no such a thing called impure light, okay? There's just the light, okay? But we say pure light, reflected light. In the presence of opaque, light gets the name reflected light. In the absence of opaque, light is what? Pure light. Really speaking, the pure and reflected are the attributes added to the light, which is free from attributes, okay? From the standpoint of the presence and absence of the opaque. Similarly, in the presence of thoughts, there is manifest consciousness, manifestation of consciousness, or manifestation of knowledge. In the absence of thoughts, there is pure knowledge. Is it clear? When you say experience, in every experience there must be some thoughts. Experience means like illumination. Whatever thought is there, you have that experience. Is it clear? Therefore, consciousness is what? We say the only source of knowledge. The only source of knowledge, the only source of happiness, the only source of sukham, the only reality, only source of existence is consciousness. Is it clear? Therefore, only thing is the teaching, what it does is, no knowledge is created. All sorts of knowledge. The fountainhead of knowledge is what? Already jnana utru, isn't it? There is this, all knowledge is already there. The vritti has to rise. Then there is manifestation of knowledge. That is why any scientist working in any field, all the time working all the time, working in the field of physics, not thinking of anything else, for him that particular vritti rises. Then he does a discovery in the field of physics, in the field of medicine, in the field of any discovery is what? Discovery of the knowledge, what is already there is knowledge. Only it has to manifest. The source of knowledge is consciousness. The vritti has to rise. Then there is knowledge. Is it clear? The communication is only for the given vritti to rise. Is it clear? Therefore, who is the guru? There is no source of knowledge other than consciousness. Means, who is the guru already? Okay, so that's why we say, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Because there is no guru other than Paramatma. But seeing this, people like, some people they get confused also. You are guru to yourself, they say. And another confusion. They say don't need a teacher, you are guru to yourself. There's another confusion also is there. Having some understanding here and there. But to know that there is no guru other than Paramatma, you need a traditional teaching. You need sampradaya. You need shastra pramanyam. You need shastra. To understand this fact. Is it clear? To understand the fact that there is no, the swarupa of any teacher is, Paramatma. To understand this fact, you need what? To know that there is no guru other than yourself, you need guru. You need shastra pramanam. Understand? This is what. So, what I want to say here is, no knowledge is created, is already there. And one who ultimately gives his vision is Sadguru. So here, the word Upanishad has two meanings. One is, I'll stop here till tomorrow, okay? The two meanings are there. So now I come to the point, tomorrow I'll start the Upanishad, okay? The word Upanishad has two meanings. I'll tell you tomorrow what those meanings are. Is it clear? Just today I want to start the day with the Guru's verse. It's, even though I need not have brought this verse at all into the class today. Today I did not have clubbed it. I just thought, let me start with the explanation of this verse. Because Puja Swamiji, we used to chant when I was very young. I always heard him chanting this verse mostly. I just thought, let me start my class. So for me, I slowly start teaching. And then so I thought, let me do this verse first. So I'll continue my teaching tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. So every time I visit Australia, and then it's my fourth visit to Petros's house. We have always enjoyed this place for good sessions. Om Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashranvannoti Visida Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvvignopashantaye Gajananam Bhutaganadisevitam Kapittajambu Phalasarabhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Padapankajam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. On. Om Bhadram Karne Bhishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabharyajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtvagam Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitayadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha Swasti nः Pusha Vishvavedaः Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemiः Swasti no Brihaspatirdadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva kevalam dhartasi, Tvameva kevalam hartasi, Tvameva sarvam khalvidam brahmasi, Tvam sakshadatmasi nityam, Ritam vachmi, Satyam vachmi, Avatvam mam, Avavaktaram, Avashrotaram, Avadataram, Avadhataram, Avanochanam avasishyam, Avapaschataat, Avapurastat, Avottaratat, Avadakshinatat, Avachodhvatat, Avadharatat, Sarvato mam pahi pahi samantat, Sarvato mam pahi pahi samantat, Sarvato mam pahi pahi samantat. Tvam vangmayastvam chinmayah, Tvam anandamayastvam brahmamayah, Tvam satchidanandadvitiyosi, Tvam pratyaksham brahmasi, Tvam jnanamayo vijnanamayosi, Sarvam jagadidam tvatto jayate, Sarvam jagadidam tvattastishtati, Sarvam jagadidam tvailayameshyati, Sarvam jagadidam tvai pratyeti, Tvam bhumirapo nalo nilo nabhaha, Tvam chatvari vaakpadani, Tvam gunatrayatitaha, Tvam avasthatrayatitaha, Tvam dehatrayatitaha, Tvam kalatrayatitaha, Tvam mooladharasthitosi nityam, Tvam shaktitrayatmakaha, Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam, Tvam brahma, Tvam vishnustvam rudrastvam indrastvam agnistvam vayustvam surastvam chandramastam brahma bhurbhuvaswaram ganadim purvamuccharya varnadim stadanantaram anuswarah parataraha ardhendullasitam tarena ruddham etattavamanuswarupam Gakarah purvarupam akaro madhyamarupam anuswarascha antyarupam binduruttararupam nadasandhanam samhita sandhihi saisha ganesha vidya ganakarishihi nichrudgayatri chandaha ganapatir devata Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dantih Prachodayat Ekadantam Chaturhastam Pashamankushadharinam Radancha Varadam Hastair Bibhranam Moshakadhvajam Raktam Lambodaram Shurpakarnakam Raktavasasam Raktagandhanuliptangam Raktapushpai Supujitam Bhaktanukampinam Devam Jagatkaranamachyutam Avirbhutancha Srishtadau Prakrute Purushat Param Evam Dhyayati Yo Nityam Sayogi Yoginam Varaha Om Namo Vratapataye Namo Ganapataye Namo Pramathapataye Namastestu Lambodaraye Kadantaya Vignanashine Shivasutaya Shri Varadamurtaye Namo Namaha Om Shriman Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. What's that? See, Chandrashtamam means it will all be there. This is called Chandrashtamam day, Radhiji. Chandrashtamam means something, some small obstacle should be there. That's okay. Bhagwan's prasadam. Om Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyo Dhyamrutaat Sambabhuva Samendro Medhaya Sprunoto Amrutasya Devadharano Bhuyasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jihva Me Madhumattama Karnabhyam Bhore Vishravam Brahmana Koshosi Medhaya Pita Shrutam Me Gopaya Om Shanti 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 Om Medha Devi Joshamanana Agat Vishvachi Bhadra Sumanasya Mana Tvaya Jushtanudamana Duruktan Brihadvadema Vidate Suvira Tvaya Jushtarishirбhavati Devi Tvaya Brahma Gata Shri Rutatvaya त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विना वुभावा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः दैवी मेधा सरस्वती सा मा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषताम् आमा मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगती जगम्या ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सा मा मेधा सुप्रतीका जुषन्ताम् मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि यज्ञस्तेजो ददातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि इन्द्रियं ददातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ॐ हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. As I said, this Ishavasya or this Ishavasya Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, is a Shukla Yajurvediya Upanishad. It belongs to Shukla Yajurveda. And the Shukla Yajurveda Shanti Mantra is the Purnamadaha Purnamidam mantra. Let us begin the class with the Purnamada mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. You have to remember carefully again. All these swaras are only Anudatta and Udatta, no Swarita. Om Po, this is for the new people. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The purpose of beginning the class, any study, with a peace invocation called Shanti Pataha is very well known to you. But still, it's sampradaya, we have to see the meaning of the Shanti mantra, Shanti Pataha. We call it Shanti Pataha mainly because we end this Shanti Pata saying Shantihi 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Here we say. Elsewhere we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Shantihi is a Ikaranta Strilinga Shabdaha, a feminine gender word, which means peace. Peace implies being free from all forms of obstacles which cause pain. Obstacle in anything, impediment in anything causes pain. Is pain. Impediment is pain. Hindrance is pain. An obstacle is pain. Isn't it? So if there is an obstacle, there is pain. There is pain means there is disturbance. There is turbulence. There is turmoil. There is no peace. So when you say this, here we invoke the peace. So it's the peace invocation, which means for the peace to be there, there should not be any obstacle. There should not be any pain at all. No disturbance. For which there should not be any obstacle. And here, when in our Shastram, when they analyzed thoroughly what can be an obstacle, where can be an obstacle rise from, what can be the source of obstacle. Because obstacles are so many obstacles. You can't even count. So many obstacles will be there. So you can't pray, to ward off every small obstacle. Instead, you find out the sources of obstacle. Sources, the obstacles, from where the obstacles rise. In that way they found out very clearly there are only 3 sources of obstacles. There is no 4th source of obstacle. We have to be very clear about it. Should not have any doubt about it. Is there a 4th source of obstacle? No. There are only 3 sources of obstacles. So the first source of obstacle will be you yourself. One's own self will be a source of obstacle. Obstacle, especially, so obstacle can be in accomplishing anything, in any endeavor, especially in pursuit of knowledge also, there will be obstacles. Mainly there will be obstacles. And here how can I myself can become a source of obstacle if I am physically ill or if I am mentally disturbed. Some situation can cause my own mental disturbance, some reason which caused my mental disturbance or my own physical illness can become an impediment for me, can prevent me from attending the class, or even if I come and sit in the class, I may not be able to listen and understand. I'm not able to focus because of my mental discomfort and physical discomfort. Therefore, I myself can become a source of obstacle. So when you yourself can become a source of obstacle, and then also there's a pain, and that pain caused is called what? Adhyatmika tapaha. Pain pertaining to one's own self. It's called adhyatmika tapaha. I explained last time when I came here also, I explained the same thing. Tapaha literally means heat. Atapaha means heat. Tapaha means heat. And the heat can scorch and burn, cause pain. Similarly, here the emotional pain caused by one's physical or mental discomfort also can scorch the mind, can haunt the mind, torment the mind. That is why pain is also likened to the heat here, tapaha, is implied by the word tapaha. So the pain caused by the obstacles arising from obstacles for which one's own self is the source, then we call it adhyatmika tapaha, main. Suppose even if you are fine, you are not the source of obstacle, but still anybody else other than you, anything else other than you, your own associates or accompaniments or friends or relatives, people in the family, anybody else or anything else becomes a source of obstacle, which also can become which also can prevent you from being comfortable in the class, which also can prevent you from being attentive. Then we call, then also there is a pain. So pain caused by obstacles arising from another source other than yourself is called adi bhautika tapaha. It is not a new lesson, I know very well. Adhyatmika tapaha, adi bhautika tapaha. Now we have adi daivika tapaha. It is neither you nor anybody else other than you associated with you, but the natural calamities. We had floods in Uttarakhand. Lots of programs got affected. There, like tsunami came, earthquake happened, or sudden rains. It need not have big calamities like that. Even sudden rains, everywhere traffic. Or heavy snowfall. Any small, even half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, sudden natural calamity, sudden natural happening can happen, and it can cause a lot of obstacles, become a big impediment. So pain, the tapaha, pain caused by obstacles arising from, the natural calamities. It's called adi daivika tapaha. Of these, the pain is the same, but pain caused by obstacles arising from three different sources. We have, sometimes these obstacles are non-predictable. Non-predictable, they're non-controllable also. Even if they're predictable, suppose if the weathercast can, the forecasting of the weather, they can predictable but still uncontrollable. Which means we do not have say over certain situations. Only when you understand your utter helplessness, that you do not have say over what is non-predictable and what is non-controllable. And even if it is predictable, it is uncontrollable, then you only seek help. When you seek help means you pray. You invoke the grace. So here also, when you say before, you thoughtfully, attentively, thoughtfully, we do these Shanti mantras because we mean what we really say. We don't mechanically chant. May there not be any pain at all caused by any obstacle arising from any of these three different sources. This is the implication of chanting Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. So to ward off all forms of obstacles arising from three different sources, we say Shanti 3 times. When you chant Shanti also 3 times, even though Shanti is a complete word, when you chant them together, you have to say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Visarga, you have to take care of the sandhi. Om Shanti 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 Shantish Shantish Shantihi. When you chant, we don't say Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. No. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. And here when you say chant Purnamadaha, Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. And this particular Shanti mantra, the Purnamadaha, has no commentary by Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada as a Shanti mantra. But the same mantra, the Purnamadaha, the same mantra comes as a part of the Upanishad in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in the 5th chapter. So there's a commentary by Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. So we have to take that commentary to understand the meaning of the mantra here. As I said earlier, this Ishavasya Upanishad is a mantropanishad, and any mantropanishad will have a Brahmana Upanishad as its commentary. And this Ishavasya Upanishad has, as a mantropanishad, Brihadaranyaka as the elaborate commentary. That is why in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the same Shanti mantra comes, in the 5th chapter. The first mantra of the 5th chapter of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is Purnamadaha Purnamidam. So this commentary, we have to take the commentary on that mantra to understand here this Shanti mantra as a Shanti mantra here. If we take Om, Om, Like any Shanti mantra begins with Omkaraha. Even though if you know this already, my saying now to you and you are hearing this now itself is a yajna. It's worship. That's why I just repeat it. Om, any mantra begins with Omkaraha because you cannot begin any mantra by saying anything. You cannot make any mantra more auspicious, anything else. To make any mantra the most auspicious, you have to begin mantra with Omkara. There's no greater auspicious sound than Omkara. Therefore, we begin the mantra with the Omkara. And as you all know very well, Om itself, if you take Mandukya Upanishad, the Prathama, the first chapter, you understand how elaborately Omkara is discussed there. Omkara is a sound symbol of the Lord, the whole. When we invoke the grace of the Lord, when you need to worship the Lord or pray to the Lord, we have an altar for the Lord, the whole. Because in worshipping, in praying, you need to relate to the Lord. And to relate to the Lord, you need a symbol. Because Lord is the whole. Lord the whole is inclusive of you, the worshipper, the one who is praying to the Lord. So how can you, the individual, who is part of the whole, who is included in Bhagavan the whole, visualize Bhagavan or see, Bhagavan? This is difficult. It's impossible for the mind, tiny mind, which is part of the whole, to visualize Bhagavan. Isn't it? That is why you need an altar, need a symbol, which represents Bhagavan. That's why we can have any one form, and which has limbs, and wherein we invoke the grace of the Lord. So form with the limbs is called Savayava Murtihi. Avayava Sahita Murtihi. Avayava Sahita Murtihi. Avayava Sahita Murtihi. Savayava Murtihi. A form with the limbs is called Pratima. Any form. That's why you have so many forms in Vedic culture. Even the Vedic period we did not have forms. But later on, the forms of worship which are based on the Vedic vision introduced a lot of forms. Any form, any altar, which stands for, which symbolizes the Lord the whole. If it has limbs, it's called Pratima. If a form does not have limbs, it is called Pratika. Niravayava Murtihi Pratika. Like Shivalingam, like we have Shalagrama, they're all Pratikas. A form without limbs. Pratika. Form with the limbs also can be an altar. A form without limbs also can be an altar. And here, what about Om? It is not even a form symbol. Neither a form with the limbs nor is it a form without limbs. It is not a form symbol, but it's a sound symbol. It's a form of symbol, but it is a sound symbol. Om is sound symbol. That is why in drawing and keeping Omkara, isn't it? If you draw, it becomes a form, isn't it? If you write it. So Om is a sound symbol. So sound symbol also is a pratika. So Om stands for the whole, the Lord, Bhagavan. The manifestation in its entirety is symbolized by Om. And it's very beautiful here to know the meaning of this Om. If at all you have experience, where does the world exist for you? The world does not exist outside of your experience, isn't it? The world is what? In your experience. If there's no experience, if you do not have any experience, there's no world for you. Isn't it true? The world is an experience. Therefore, this world is experience means, we say in waking, there is a state, waking is a state of mind which is a state of experience. Only during that experience you have this gross universe. This gross universe exists for you only in your waking state. Isn't it true? This same gross universe is not there for you when you fall asleep. Again, from sleep, if you are awake to a subtle universe projected by your own thoughts, you have only dream universe. You do not have all the three states of experience simultaneously. We call them three different states of experience. And each state of experience is each state of mind. They cannot be together simultaneously. One has to go for the other to be there. That is why they are always discontinuous and mutually exclusive. Isn't it? So each state of experience is what? A Jagat. We say Vyakta Prapanchaha, the gross manifest universe. Is in experience. That experience is not outside of the experiencer. Therefore, that universe is, the gross universe experienced during the waking state is Bhagavan, manifestation of Bhagavan. Again, the subtle universe experienced also is what? Not outside of Bhagavan, it's also subtle manifestation. It's also Ishvara, the Lord. When subtle and gross, both universes, not experienced, then when we call them the unmanifest, subtle universe also is unmanifest, gross universe also is unmanifest in deep sleep state. The universe unmanifest also is what? Unmanifest also does not have existence outside of the Lord. Unmanifest universe also is the Lord. The subtle manifestation also is the Lord. Gross manifestation also is the Lord. The only Lord appearing as the manifest universe and the unmanifest universe, remaining as the unmanifest universe. There is no universe other than Ishvara, manifest or unmanifest. Universe, subtle or gross, manifest or unmanifest, anything is Ishvara. No? Therefore, that's why we say, if we take this Omkaraha, and it consists of three sounds, Akaraha, Ukaraha, makaraha. And this makara is followed by silence. Omkaraha consists of two parts, sound part and silence part. Akara, ukara, makara, three sounds, sound part. The silence following the makara, silence part of Omkara. We never take into account silence. Silence is part of Omkara. Om, Om, Om. When you say that Om consists of three sounds, Akara, Ukara, Makara, two syllables and two vowels and one consonant. Actually, it's one syllable. It's a monosyllabic sound. And that silence following Makara is another part. So this Akara stands for gross manifestation, which is Ishvara. Ukara stands for subtle manifestation, which is also Ishvara. And Makara stands for the unmanifest universe, which is also Ishvara. The manifest becomes unmanifest, unmanifest again becomes manifest. This constantly happens. That is why we say Jagat comes and goes. Jayate gacchati iti Jagat. That which keeps coming and going is universe. Means what? Becomes manifest, again becomes unmanifest. Unmanifest becomes manifest, the manifest becomes unmanifest. So here, so the gross, subtle and unmanifest universes. The Akara, Ukara, Makara stand for these three worlds. And the silence which follows Makara stands for the reality, the consciousness, which is the same in all three states of experience. It continues to be there. That is why one sound stands for the whole, the entire experience in its entirety. Waking, dream and deep sleep state. States of experience. All three states of experiences. There is no experience outside of Ishvara. There is no experiencer other than Ishvara. There is no experience outside of Ishvara. There is no experienced universe outside of Ishvara. The experienced universe is Ishvara. The experience is Ishvara. The experiencer is also Ishvara. Everything, all that is here is the Lord. Om stands for this whole. That is why Omkaraha is known as Pranavaha. Pranavaha. Why is it called Pranavaha? I don't know whether I told you last time here. If you take Navaha, take this dental Nakara. Navaha. Navaha means Nama. Nama means name. Tom is one Navaha. Petros, Navaha. Navaha is a Nama. But you change it, you add that prefix pra. The dental Nakara becomes cerebral Nakara. Pranavaha. Navaha becomes Pranavaha. So one name is one word which can indicate only one object. Isn't it? So each object needs one navaha. One navaha, one name, one word can indicate only one given object. Mike means can indicate only one object. But if at all there's one word which can indicate all the objects, the world of objects in its entirety. It's a very special name, isn't it? A unique word, a special word, why it is a unique word? So the pranavaha means a unique name. Navaha is a simple name. Pranavaha is a unique name, a unique term. Why? A term can indicate only one object, but this pranavaha, omkaraha, is a unique term. Why? Because the one om indicates the world of objects in its entirety. It stands for all the objects. Is it clear? That is why pranavaha. Unique. Pranavaha means unique term, unique name. The one term which stands for all the objects, which indicates all the objects. Therefore, Om stands for Bhagavan, the whole, the sound symbol of the Lord. This is one meaning. Another meaning also is there. This also I told you last time. The world is nothing but objects, all the objects put together. The known. Even if there is something unknown, unknown also is what? Will become the known after knowledge. Therefore, we don't take anything known. Unknown also comes under the category of the known. Because unknown will become the known, can become the known after knowledge. Therefore, known is what? An object, isn't it? The whole world which comes under the category of the known is constituted of innumerably countless objects indicated by innumerably countless words. And what are these objects are indicated by words? And any word indicating any object of any language is nothing but is sounds, many sounds put together. And sounds are nothing but vowels and consonants, and vowels and consonants are sounds which emerge only between gutter and the lips. Therefore, a is a guttural, is a labial, and any vowel, any consonant sound of any language cannot arise anywhere apart from this part, isn't it? Therefore, a, u, is guttural and labial, including this ukara. Three sounds stand for all the possible sounds that can be made, that can be pronounced, that can emerge. All the sounds stand for all the words of all the languages. All the words, understand, stand for all the objects indicated by the words. All the objects constitute the whole. Isn't it? It's inexplicably, incomprehensibly vast universe. So, Om is like A is equal to B, B is equal to C, C is equal to D, D is equal to E. You can say A is equal to E. Then here, Om stands for all the sounds, vowels and consonants. All the vowels and consonants, all the sounds stand for all the words of any language, all the languages. All the words stand for all the objects. Objects stand for what? Actually constitute the whole universe. Therefore, Om stands for the whole. Om means the whole. Bhagavan, Ishvaraha, the Lord. That is why Om is a sound symbol of the Lord, the whole. That's the reason any mantra is begin with the Omkaraha. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam. If you take this mantra, Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. First quarter of the mantra, if you take Purnamadav Purnamidam, stop there. It's a Mahavakyam. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Take only quarter of the mantra, it's a Mahavakyam. How do you say Mahavakyam? This quarter of the mantra reveals the identity between the individual and the total, the microcosm and the macrocosm. It reveals the oneness of the truth of the individual and the total. Just a quarter mantra. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Purnam means infinite, complete, fullness. Purnam means complete, infinite. Adaha. Adaha means tad, that. So Adaha stands for Paroksha Ishvaraha. Paroksha Tattva. Adaha means stands for the Lord, the whole. Paramatma. Adaha stands for Pada Paramatma. So Adaha Purnam. Purnam Adaha means Ishvaraha Purnaha. The Lord is infinite. The Lord is complete. The Swarupam of the Lord is fullness, complete, infinitude. Ishvaraha Purnaha means the Lord is infinite. That's a statement. Adaha, Purnam Adaha. Now Purnam Idam. So again Purnam means what? Purnam again is infinite. Idam is a pronoun, a third person singular pronoun, idam also. But it means this. So idam stands for nearest to this. What is the nearest to this? When you say idam, idam you generally stands for, it's a third person singular pronoun. Adaha, that. Idam, this, isn't it? This means you come, what is the nearest to this? Nearest this is self. Therefore, idam stands for tvam. Tvam means you. The truth of the individual. Individual I. Idam stands for I, or you can say you, the individual. Idam this. So, aparoksha. See, aparoksha atma is indicated by idam. Paroksha Ishvaraha is indicated by adaha. Now I know what is BD staring at me. What is paroksha and aparoksha? See, to know light is, I need the eyes. To know there is somebody is speaking, I need the hearing power. To know it is warm, I need this sense of touch. The instrument is required, isn't it? To have the knowledge of an object, for a given object to become evident, I need an instrument of knowledge. To know I am, do I require any instrument of knowledge? Therefore, aparoksha. Understand? Aparoksha means self-evident self is aparoksha atma. Self is self-evident. Everything else is what? Evident to the self, isn't it? Therefore we say paroksha. So paroksha Ishvaraha, aparoksha atma. Aparoksha atma. So this idam stands for aparoksha atma. Adaha stands for paroksha. You can say idam stands for aparoksha jivaha. Adaha stands for paroksha Ishvaraha. You can say tatpada arthaha. Tatpada means the pronoun tad. The word tad stands for the Lord. In Mahavakyam Tattvamasi. The pronoun tvam stands for the jiva, jivatma, the individual self. So here adaha purnam, idam purnam means what? That is infinite. Ishvara is infinite and jiva is infinite. Jivaha purnaha, Ishvaraha purnaha. The individual is complete and infinite. The total also is complete and infinite. The Lord, the whole, is complete and infinite. The individual, you, are also complete and infinite. Adaha purnam, idam purnam. That is infinite, you are infinite. This individual is infinite, the rest of the whole is infinite. So Jiva Swarupam, the truth of the individual is infinite. The truth of the total is infinite. Jiva Swarupam is infinite. Ishvara Swarupam is infinite. So Mahavakyam. So the question comes, how can there be two infinites? Infinite means that which is free from all limitations, isn't it? So if there are two infinites, then what happens? One will limit the other. One being different from the other, one being limited by the other, isn't it? There can't be two infinite. Though here we understand, therefore, how can there be two infinite? Jivaha Purnaha, Ishvaraha Purnaha, Adaha Purnam, Idam Purna means, how can there be two infinites? The problem comes. So that means the only way we can understand understand this is this Jiva Swarupam, the truth of the Idam, Jiva, indicated by idam, and the truth of adaha, indicated by the Ishvara, indicated by the pronoun adaha. What now? Ekam abhinnam, one and the same, indivisible. Ekam abhinnam, one and indivisible, same. Must be one and the same. The truth, Swarupa must be the same. So, aparoksha jiva swarupa tattvam, jiva swarupam, paroksha Ishvara swarupam must be one and the same. Must be indivisible. Only then one can say, this is infinite, that is infinite. This is means what? This jiva swarupam is infinite, that Ishvara swarupam is infinite. The truth of the knower is infinite. The truth of the known is also infinite. It means one and the same. If the one and the same, then how can we talk about this then? There's a difference. There are differences. What differences we have? No, first of all, jivaha, we say this aparokshatvam, jiva has aparokshatvam, being the immediate self. And Ishvara is what now? Has parokshatvam. The parokshatvam, aparokshatvam. The difference is there between jiva and Ishvara. Then there is, we say jiva is little knowing, alpagyatvam, and Ishvara has sarvagyatvam. Ishvara has omniscience. Ishvara enjoys omniscience. And jiva enjoys alpagyatvam, limited knowledge. And Ishvara enjoys sarvashaktimatvam. Jiva enjoys alpashaktimatvam. Jiva has very limited power. And Ishvara is almighty. Jiva is little mighty. So all these differences are there. Therefore, how can we say that then jivaha purnaha, Ishvaraha purnaha, tat purnam, tvam purnam, tat purnam, no? Then tvam purnaha. Ishvaraha purnaha, jivaha purnaha, adaha purnam, idam purnam. How can we say that? Then we have to say, we have to take this swarupa. Okay, take this swarupam from the standpoint of this swarupam of jiva and Ishvara, tat and tvam, or adaha and idam. There is no difference. From the standpoint of swarupam, the truth. The truth of the known, the truth of Ishvara, the swarupam of Ishvara, the whole, is purnam. And the same chaitanyam is what? The truth of the jivaha, indicated by the pronoun idam. So, aparoksha jiva swarupam and paroksha Ishvara swarupam is one and the same chaitanyam, one and the same consciousness. The truth of adaha, truth of idam, it happens to be one and the same consciousness. We can say now what? Therefore, we can say jivaha purnaha, Ishvaraha purnaha, we can say that. Paramatma purnaha, jivatma purnaha. Purnaha means infinite. Therefore, from the standpoint of the truth, there is no difference. So when you say jivaha, again this is sopadikaha, So jiva, the atma with upadi, atma with jiva upadi, individual body, mind, sense complex, is called what? Sopadikaha. Upadi means what? Here manifesting medium is called what? Upadi. The Atma, the consciousness with this Upadi. Upadi means body, mind, sense complex. Is Jiva Upadi. Jiva Upadi. And the same Atma with Maya Upadi. This is Ishvara Upadi. Upadis are different. The total Upadi is Ishvara. Atma with the total Upadi is Ishvara. Jiva with individual Upadi is what? Atma with individual body, mind, complex Upadi is Jiva. So with the Upadi, Atma is known as what? Sopadikaha. Upadi Sahitaha. Atma endowed with the Upadi. So the difference is this Sarvagyatvam, Alpagyatvam, this omniscience and limited knowledge, almighty, all might and limited power. This difference is only from the standpoint of the Upadis. Only from the standpoint of the Upadis. So Upadi, we can understand here, with the help of example. When you say ocean and wave, the ocean name and form is an Upadi. Wave name and form also is an Upadi. Okay, the name and form becomes Upadi. Upahitam means the truth obtaining in the given form. Upahitam, the water, the H2O is Upahitam. Water, the H2O is Upahitam. The name and form wave is one Upadi. Ocean, name and form ocean is another Upadi. Is it clear now? So now difference is, now when you say wave is ocean, the difference is not from the standpoint of the Upahitam is what? One and the same water. There's no difference. The standpoint of Upadis, Nama Rupa, there is difference. Is it clear? Similarly here also, there is the Bedaha, the difference is from the standpoint of the Upadis. The individual, for a Jiva, the body, mind and complex is the individual Upadi. And for Ishvara, the entire, the whole, it's the Maya is the Upadi. The standpoint of Upadis, there is difference. If you remove the Upadis cognitively, intellectually remove the Upadis, remove the name and form wave intellectually, remove the name and form ocean intellectually, then see the Upahitam water. There is no difference. So Nirupadhikam Upahitam. Understand? So similarly here also, from the standpoint of, we say Adaha Idam. Adaha Purnam. Idam Purnam. Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. If we take there again. So from Nirupadhika Chaitanyam, from the standpoint of Nirupadhika Chaitanyam, the standpoint of pure consciousness without the Upadis, without the Ishvara Upadi, without Jiva Upadi, without the body, mind, complex, without the Maya. If you see that as the truth of the whole and the individual, the standpoint of consciousness, there is no difference. Therefore, what now? The standpoint of the Swarupam, the truth, Adaha Purnam, Ishvara is infinite. Idam Purnam, the individual also is infinite. Is it clear? This is what is revealed. The standpoint of nirupadikam means what? Without the upadis. From the standpoint of, if you see the standpoint of upadis, then there is a difference. Says sopadika jivaha, sopadikaha ishvaraha. If you see Ishvara as sopadikaha, and if you see jiva as a sopadikaha, there is difference. With the upadis, there is difference. The standpoint of upadis, there is difference. The standpoint of upahitam, the truth, the tattvam, the swarupam, the reality, there is no difference. They ekam abhinnam. Adaha swarupam is what? Adaha, purna means what? The swarupam of that Ishvara, the whole, the truth of the whole is Chaitanyam. The truth of idam, this jiva is also what? Chaitanyam. Therefore, from the standpoint of upahita Chaitanyam, nirupadikam Chaitanyam, the pure consciousness without the upadis, there is no difference whatsoever, because they are one and the same indivisible consciousness. Is it clear? This is the Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. The Mahavakyam. Adaha Purnam Idam Purnam. Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. Is it clear? Purnat Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Now comes Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Udachyate means comes into existence, born out of. So Purnam, Purnat Purnam Udachyate means the infinite is born out of the infinite. Or the infinite comes into existence from infinite. What do you understand here? Infinite comes into existence from infinite. Purnat, from the Purnam, from the infinite. Purnam, the infinite. Udachyate comes into existence. Arises. Born out of. Is born out of. So here you have to take what now? Sopadika. Understand? Sopadika. How can, the question comes, how can the infinite be born out of the infinite? How can infinite come into existence from infinite? Isn't it? The question comes, you have to say Sopadika. Sopadika. Whenever talk about the coming into existence, you have to think of what? The Sopadika. So he says, Sopadika means what now? With the Upadi. So it's like saying, there is a Mahan Akashaha, there is total space, just as part space comes into existence from the total space, so does so does Jiva comes into existence from Ishvara. Is it clear? Jiva, when you say Jiva is infinite, Ishvara is infinite, but you talk about now the Jiva infinite has come into existence from Ishvara infinite. How can one infinite come into existence from another infinite? We already have established what is not. The infinite is one. We can't have two infinites. So we already understood Mahavakyam. So now his Purnat Purnam Udachyate means the infinite comes into existence from the infinite means how it is like the pot space coming into existence from the total space. There you have to understand, which means pot space does not come into existence. The pot comes into existence, isn't it? The birth of the pot, coming into existence of the pot is attributed to pot space, isn't it? Pot alone comes into existence. The pot alone is born. The birth of the pot, the coming into existence of the pot is attributed to pot space. The pot is born, we say pot space is also born. Is it clear? Similarly here, when you say jiva, the jiva upadhi is born. Jiva swarupam is not born. Is it clear? The truth of the jiva is not born. Jiva swarupam is not born. The truth of the individual is not born. The individual body is born, isn't it? So birth of the individual body is attributed to the birth of the individual swarupam, the truth. Is it clear? Therefore, Purnat Purnam Udachyate means it is not possible for infinite to come into existence from infinite. Infinite cannot come into existence. Why? Infinite is timeless, eternal. Only you can call it infinite. Infinite is that which is eternal, time-wise limitless. So how can infinite come into existence first of all? That is from infinite. And if infinite has to come into existence from infinite, does the infinite undergo change or what? No. Without undergoing a change, infinite remaining what it is, still infinite comes into existence. Infinite is born. Udachyate. No, it's only about sopadika. Understand? So sopadika Ishvarat, sopadikaha jivaha udachyate. Okay? From sopadika, from Ishvara, the Atma with Ishvara Upadhi, this Jiva with Jiva Upadhi is born. Like what? Like pot space is born out of total space. Really speaking, there is no such a thing called birth of pot space at all. There is no pot space at all. There is only space. But birth of the pot is attributed to the pot space, and it is said pot space is born out of total space. Similarly here, Purna Ishvarat, Purna Jivaha Udachyate. Purna Ishvarat, Purna Jivaha Udachyate. Purna Sopadika Ishvarat, Purna Sopadika Jivaha Udachyate. Understand? Therefore, birth of the Upadhi is attributed to the Upahita Chaitanyam. Got Upahitam, Upadhi, all these terms you must be very familiar with. Otherwise you will find it difficult to understand the class. Is it clear? Upahitam, Upadhihi. Is it clear? Let me continue. So, Purnat Purnam Udachyate. See the space, total space, and we talk about the pot space. Really speaking, there's no such thing called pot space. That's just a space. And you, in a space, you bring a new pot, buy a new pot and put it there. And you say what now? Pot space. Okay, pot occupies a given space. You say pot space. Inside the pot there's a space. Pot space. Pot space is small, room space is big. And you compare also. That is big, this is small. More spacious, not spacious. Big space, small space. Is there such thing called big space and small space? There's only one space. And why do you add adjectives to the space, big and small? Because you're comparing. You're comparing with what? Comparing the space obtaining within pot, the space obtaining within four walls, the room. Is it clear? And here the space is upahitam. The room is upadhi. Pot is upadhi. Understand? Pot is upadhi. Room is upadhi. Associated, isn't it? So the form and name associated with space is what? Upadhi. For this space. And the space is upahitam. The space associated with the Namarupa is upahitam. Understand? The name and form associated with the space is what? Upadhi. Is it clear now? What is upahitam? What is upadhi? Like that. Really speaking, from the standpoint of the upadhis, there is difference. Why do you talk about big space and small space? We talk about the bigness of space and smallness of space when these two adjectives are meaningless, because there's no such thing called big space or small space. We compare and we talk about big and small, we talk about the difference in space. Is there really a difference? There's no difference. Why there's no difference? Because pot space is space, total space. Room space is space, isn't it? It's a total space. It's just a space. There's no difference. But it's different. But there's a seeming difference between pot space and total space, big and small. The difference is from the standpoint of upadhi. So what is born now? Upadhi, birth of the pot, is taken to be the birth of the space. Birth of the room is taken to be the birth of the space, room space. Therefore, this room space or pot space, there is no such a thing called room space or pot space. And how can you talk about the birth of the room space and birth of the pot space? So the birth of the upadhi is taken to be the birth of the upahitam. Is it clear? Similarly, consciousness, the chaitanyam, the atma, the all-pervasive, innermost essence of all the beings, the reality, the consciousness, is ever infinite, isn't it? Infinite. That's why we don't say ever. It is infinite. And which is the swarupam, truth of the individual and truth of the whole. Adaha Purnam idam. Truth of the adaha is what? Same Chaitanyam. Truth of the idam is what? Same Chaitanya. One and the same. Ekam abhinnam. one and the same. Is it clear? Where Purnat Purnam Udachyate means Sopadhika Ishvarat Sopadhikaha Jivaha Udachyate. Which means the Sopadhika Purna Ishvarat from Ishvara, Sopadhikai, from the Ishvara. Sopadhika Ishvara, Purna Ishvara. From the infinite Lord, the Jiva, the infinite, comes into existence. From the infinite Lord, the infinite Jiva comes into existence. Like what? Like the pot space is born out of total space. Is it clear? Purnat Purnamudachyate. Next sentence. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Purnasya. Purnasya here means Sopadhika Jivasya. The next thing you have to take what now? You have to say which should be which Purna should be taken as what you should know. Isn't it? So Purnat means Purna Sopadhika Ishvarat. Purna Udachyate means Purna Sopadhika Jivaha Udachyate. The Jiva comes into existence. And Purnasya Purnam Adhyaya. There Purnasya means what? Purna Jivasya. Sopadhika Jivasya. So when you take this Jiva, the individual, Sopadhikaha Jivaha, okay? Like a pot space. Like the, Sopadhikaha Jivaha. The individual Atma with the Upadhi, body, minds complex. Sopadhika Jivas. This Purnasya, this Purna Jivasya, Purnam Adhyaya. If you remove the Atma Chaitanyam, if you remove cognitively, remove the consciousness from Jiva. What is a Jiva? Atma, the consciousness, plus body, mind, sense complex is what? Individual. What is pot space? Space plus pot is equal to pot, name and form is what? Pot space, isn't it? Pot space plus name and form pot is equal to pot space. Is it clear? Space, given space plus name and form pot is equal to pot space. Similarly, who is Jivaha? Individual. Atma, the consciousness, plus the name and form, the body, mind, sense complex is equal to individual. From this individual, okay, Purnasya, of this individual, who is nothing but Atma, the consciousness plus body, mind, sense complex, Purnasya, Purnam Adhyaya. Adhyaya means taking away. Not physically, you can't take it away, okay? Individually, intellectually, cognitively, okay, removing, taking away what? Atma, the consciousness. Take the consciousness, okay? Cognitively, intellectually, take the consciousness away, Atma away. No, Purnamadaya. What will be there if you remove? When you remove, okay, see, wave, what is a wave? A wave is water plus name and form wave, isn't it? Plus name and form. Water plus name and form is equal to wave. Now from that wave, you take the water away. take the water away. What will be there? You will say name and form. Is it A plus B minus A is equal to, we'll say B. No? A plus B minus A is equal to B, will say. But here you have to say what now? Atma plus Upadhi is equal, Atma plus Upadhi minus Atma is equal to, not Upadhi, 0. Atma, the consciousness, plus the Upadhi, body, mind, sense complex, minus Atma is equal to 0. You know why? It has no independent existence. When I say wave, no, wave is what? Water plus name and form minus water is equal to 0. Why? The name and form wave has no independent existence. The water is taken away, will there be name and form? Similarly, here also, when you say individual, Atma plus Upadhi, the name and form, is it minus Atma is equal to, we will tend to say what? Upadhi. But there's 0. Know why? The name and form, Upadhi has no independent existence. Hope you got it. It's a mathematics, huh? Swamiji says, mathematics, banks of Ganga, 0 comes, pujyam. Why? Because there's no independent existence. Upadhi has no independent existence. Upahita chaitanyam satyam. Understand? Upahitam is satyam. Upadhi is mithya. We always think, oh, wave, water plus name and form is equal to wave. Water plus name and form is equal to ocean. And this wave is born out of ocean. Is wave born out of ocean? What is born? Is water born out of ocean? No. Ocean is water. Wave is water. The water is not. The name and the form, birth of the name, the form, wave, is taken to be the birth of the water. Is it clear? It's called Purnasya Purnamada. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. So Purnasya Purnamadaya, if you take away the Purnam, the Chaitanyam, the infinite reality, the truth of the Upadhi, from the Upahita if you take away, Purnasya Purnamadaya, what remains is Purnameva avasishyate. What remains is only Purnam. What remains then afterwards? Afterwards, what is there? If I take away the Upahita Chaitanyam, the body minds complex. What is there now? What continues to be there is only Chaitanyam. Consciousness alone is. The Upadhis resolve in the Upahitam. Is it clear? What remains is Chaitanyam only. Purnam eva avasishyate. What finally remains is only Purnam. You count the number of all the waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the numbers, all the number you count, all will resolve along with the waves. Number will resolve in waves. Because the waves lose their countability. They do not have countability. Non-countable. Because you can count the waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 only if they have independent existence. Take away the water, then count the waves. They don't even exist. And where's the question of countability? They lose their existence. Isn't it? So, countability is possible only if anything enjoys independent existence. So, anything which does not enjoy independent existence does not have, what now? Countability at all. That is why Purnasya Purnamadaya, you take away the Purnam from every jiva. From every wave, take away the water. What is there then? Purnameva avasishyate. Understand? What remains finally is only Purnam. Infinite alone remains. The infinite reality alone is. One was, one appears to be many, one continues to be there. One was, one continues to be there, appearing as many, and one will continue to be there. Is it clear? Purnameva avasishyate. So, sopadhika. So, the difference is only from the standpoint of upadhihi. For every individual, we say every individual body, mind, sense complex is an upadhi for Atma, the consciousness. We call it Jiva Upadhi, individual Upadhi. The total universe is what? Ishvara Upadhi. Understand? Upadhi. The standpoint of Upadhis, there is a seeming difference. The standpoint of the Swarupam, the truth, the Upahitam, there is non-difference. From the standpoint of Upahitam, there is non-difference. From the standpoint of Upadhis, there is difference. And Upadhis are mithya. Because Upadhi has no independent existence. Therefore, it is non-countable. Purnameva avasishyate. Okay, this is the meaning. Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada gives in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in his commentary. I think this time I'm thinking of dictating even notes for all of you so that you won't make any mistakes. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.